All right, everybody. Welcome back. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because today we are diving deep into something pretty powerful.
Yeah, this one's going to be
Yeah.
pretty intense.
So we're looking at the Ragtime revival in New York City.
Okay.
Ragtime, of course, if you know your musicals, is exploring America's social landscape
Mm-hmm.
from 1902 to 1912. And,
Yeah.
touching on some pretty intense themes.
Yeah.
You've got racism, bigotry, the fight for change.
Right.
And the source material that we're going to be using for this deep dive is a review from the Daily Beast.
Okay.
And get this, it was published on November 2nd, 2024.
Wow.
Just one day after that crazy presidential election.
Oh, wow. Talk about timing.
Talk about timing, right?
Yeah.
So, the reviewer really picked up on that, too.
Yeah.
Like, they described the show as being practically haunted by the election results.
Wow.
Especially given Ragtime's themes of social injustice.
Right.
They even went so far as to compare some of the show's events to the rise of Trumpism
Oh, wow.
and how it impacted different communities, particularly Black and Jewish people.
Oh, that's heavy stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. Can you imagine sitting in that theater
Right.
knowing that the country had just made this huge decision one way or the other?
Right.
And it went.
Yeah.
So did the reviewer talk about how this whole vibe impacted the show's message, overall?
They did, yeah. They talked about how the musical's message of hope for a better America
Right.
felt kind of precarious almost,
Mhm.
depending on how the election went. It's
Right.
like holding your breath, and you're waiting to see,
Yeah.
is this hope going to be validated or is it going to be crushed,
Yeah, totally.
They mention Wheels of a Dream specifically.
Right.
It's a song sung by Colehouse Walker Jr., and they said that was a powerful representation
Yeah.
of that fragile hope.
Speaking of Colehouse Walker Jr.,
Yeah.
the reviewer had a lot to say about Joshua Henry's performance in that role.
Yeah.
They called it stupendous and thrilling.
Wow.
They even said that his vocals were so powerful they might bring the house down.
Oh, my goodness.
But what was it that impressed them specifically? Was it just the sheer volume, or was there more to it?
Yeah, it was definitely more than volume.
Okay.
The reviewer was really blown away by how Henry could convey the raw emotion of that character.
Okay.
There's this moment in the song Justice
Okay.
where he just explodes with rage and grief,
Wow.
but then seamlessly transitions into this heartbreaking tenderness
Wow.
when he's singing Wheels of a Dream with Sarah.
Wow.
It was that emotional range that really captivated them.
So you've got this incredibly charged political backdrop.
Right.
And then you add in Joshua Henry's powerhouse performance.
Uh-huh.
It sounds like this Ragtime revival was more than just a show.
Absolutely.
It was like an experience.
Yeah, more of an experience.
Yeah, totally.
For sure. But Henry's performance...
It wasn't the only one worth mentioning.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah.
Who else really stood out?
Well, they praised Casey Levy as Mother.
Okay.
They were particularly impressed by the steeliness
Oh.
she brought to the role,
Right.
portraying a woman who's both fiercely independent, but also deeply compassionate.
And what about Tate,
Oh, yeah.
the Latvian Jewish immigrant?
Yeah.
I remember the reviewer mentioning him too.
They were really drawn to Brandon Uranovich's portrayal of Tate.
Okay.
They loved how he used humor
Uh-huh.
and just sheer determination to combat prejudice.
Right.
He brought a touch of lightness
Okay.
to this, heavy narrative.
Yeah.
It's like he found this way to fight back without losing his spirit.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you have these incredibly powerful performances.
Yes.
But the story itself is set against this backdrop of tumultuous social change.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to hear more about how the reviewer felt about the musical structure.
And how it all came together.
That's where things get a bit more complex.
Okay.
They loved the performances, but they felt the story itself was a bit uneven.
Uneven. What do you mean?
They described the storytelling as scramblingly told,
Ooh.
with some jarring tonal shifts and some questionable plot choices.
Can you give an example? What specifically didn't work for them?
They specifically called out this one song about baseball.
Okay.
They felt it was awkwardly placed
Okay.
and kind of detracted from the emotional weight
Right.
of the scene before it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if those inconsistencies
Yeah.
might actually felt more powerful
Mm.
in the context of the 2024 election.
Okay.
Because Like, life is messy, right?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
And maybe those tonal shifts
Right.
actually mirrored the chaotic energy of that time.
That's a really interesting point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost as if the show's imperfections reflected the imperfections of the world it was commenting on.
Right.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder how the audience felt about it all.
Right.
Sitting there just a day after that.
Right, yeah.
Incredibly divisive election.
Yeah.
That must have been like a supercharged atmosphere.
The reviewer definitely picks up on that.
Okay.
They mention how the use of the N-word on stage
Right.
was particularly jarring for the audience.
Wow.
Especially right after the election.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
It's such a stark reminder of how deeply rooted racism is in our history.
Exactly. The reviewer described it as a prophetic bell from the past.
Wow.
Tolling straight as a warning to the present day.
Chilling.
Yeah.
It makes you think about how far we've come
Right.
as a society.
Right.
But also how much further we still have to go.
Yeah, yeah.
But amidst all the darkness, the show also offered glimmers of hope, right?
Absolutely. They highlight the song New Music as a particularly poignant moment. They describe it as like this embodiment of belief in newness, hope, and second chances.
And speaking of second chances, the reviewer mentioned that Joshua Henry himself cries when he thinks about that song.
Wow.
It really speaks to how deeply he connected with the character's journey.
Absolutely, yeah. They also mention how impressed they were with Nichelle Lewis's talent as Sarah, but they felt her voice was sometimes overshadowed by the music.
That's unfortunate.
Yes.
It sounds like she had these powerful moments,
Right.
but maybe didn't always get the space to really shine.
Exactly. It makes you wonder if maybe there were some directorial choices that could have, amplified her presence on stage.
Yeah.
But even with those, minor critiques, the reviewers seem to have a lot of hope for this production.
Okay.
They even suggested it might follow in the footsteps of Into the Woods and head to Broadway.
They were that impressed.
They were incredibly impressed by the overall talent, especially the phenomenal company, and how seamlessly they blended as a choral collective. They felt like this ragtime revival had all the right ingredients for a successful Broadway run.
It really does sound like they had something special. But I keep coming back to the timing of it all.
Yeah.
Opening right before such a divisive election.
Yeah.
Must just added so much weight to the story.
Absolutely. The reviewer even speculates on how the experience of watching the show would change depending on who won.
Wow.
Imagine the emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
For those who saw it before the results came in.
Oh my gosh, talk about a nail biter.
Yeah, talk about a nail biter, yeah.
But in a way, doesn't that uncertainty make Ragtime even more relevant?
Right.
It shows that these issues of social justice and equality aren't just relics of the past.
Right, yeah.
They're still very much alive today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's this powerful reminder that history has this way of repeating itself.
Right.
And that we have a responsibility to learn from the past and fight for a better future.
And speaking of fighting for a better future, the reviewer ends their piece by quoting a line from the show itself.
Oh, wow.
Make them hear you. It's a powerful call to action.
Yeah.
Especially given the current political climate.
Absolutely.
But before we dive deeper into that, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll explore the lasting impact of this ragtime revival and what it means for audiences today. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes.
And leave a comment.
Leave us a comment. Yeah, we love hearing from you.
We'll be right back.
That line, make them hear you, it really sticks with you.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when you think about how this production was like a mirror to the nation's anxieties and hopes right on the edge of this huge decision.
Right.
It's like the show was speaking directly to the audience, saying, hey, use your voice.
Yeah, use your voice. Make a difference.
Make a difference. And it makes me think about how what we see as viewers is shaped by what's happening around us.
Totally.
Like, would somebody who saw Ragtime before the election have felt differently than somebody who saw it after?
Absolutely.
Knowing the results.
The reviewer actually says it would be like night and day.
Wow.
Depending on what side of the political divide you were on.
Oh, wow.
You know, for some people, it might have been a celebration of progress. And for others, it could felt like a warning.
Right.
Like a reminder of how easily we can slip backwards.
That's so true.
Yeah.
It's like the show itself was a Rorschach test.
Wow, yeah.
You know, just
reflecting back.
The audience's hopes and fears right back at them. But no matter what your political beliefs are, you can't deny the power of ragtime.
No, you cannot.
To move people.
Yeah, ragtime.
And inspire them.
It's powerful stuff. And I think that's where this revival really succeeded.
Okay.
They captured that complexity of what it means to be American, you know, all the contradictions, the challenges, but still offering that little glimmer of hope for the future.
So we've got a politically charged show.
Yeah.
Phenomenal performances. A story that's maybe a little bit rough around the edges.
Yeah, a little bit rough, but still impactful.
For sure.
Yeah.
What's the ultimate takeaway for somebody who's thinking about seeing this production?
I think the main thing is to be open to the experience.
Okay.
Ragtime isn't just entertainment.
Right.
It's an experience. It's a conversation starter. It reminds you that this fight for social justice, it's still going on.
It's not over.
It's not over. And it'll stay with you long after you leave the theater.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
And on that note, we're going to wrap up our deep dive into Ragtime.
All right.
Let us know.
Yeah. Let us know.
What do you think? In the comments below.
Down in the comments.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.
Subscribe.
And hit that notification bell.
Yes. Hit that bell.
For more deep dives.
More deep dives.
Into all sorts of fascinating topics.
We'll see you next time.
Until next time. Wow. It's amazing, isn't it, how a show, a piece of art really can spark so much thought and get people talking.
It really speaks to the power of Ragtime, I think.
Yeah.
And how much it still resonates with us today. Yeah, totally.
You know, it forces us to look at some hard truths about our past.
Right.
About where we are now, but it still leaves you with this sense of hope.
Right. It doesn't just leave you in despair.
No, no. It gives you that hope for the future.
And that's what makes it so powerful.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just some historical thing. It's like it's reflecting who we are as a society.
It's a reflection of us.
And the problems we still face.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that this revival happened right before such a divisive election.
Huge election.
I mean, that just makes those messages even stronger.
Yeah, for sure. So for anyone listening who might be thinking about seeing Ragtime, whether it's this production or another one, what would you say is like the one thing they should keep in mind?
You got to be open to the experience.
Okay.
It's not just passive entertainment. Right.
Ragtime asks you to engage with some tough issues.
Okay.
It might make you feel uncomfortable.
Right.
But ultimately, it leaves you with this renewed sense of purpose.
Have to make them hear you.
Exactly. It's a call to action.
Yes.
It reminds us that we all have a voice.
Yeah.
We got to use it.
For sure. That's a fantastic point to wrap up on.
I think so.
So if you're looking for a show that's going to challenge you, move you, inspire you,
make you think,
Ragtime might be just the ticket.
I think so.
And that's our deep dive for today.
All right, everyone.
Make sure you like, subscribe.
Let us know your thoughts about Ragtime.
We want to know.
Down in the comments below.
In the comments.
And until next time, keep exploring.
Keep learning.
Keep diving deep.